Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is literally a day in the office, January 6th, 2026, at approximately 3:40 p.m. Now, I will be on until 5 o'clock p.m., and then I'm out of here. So absolutely drop in, ask me whatever questions you have. I will do my best to give you an answer. Won't guarantee you like it, but whoa, that was near a disaster. Fortunately, nothing serious. Okay. Um, that being said, this is literally just me puttering around getting things done, but it does guarantee I get an hour to an hour and a half, locked in working in the office. So, where am I here? That all works well. Now, first rule of thumb in the office, make sure you get things working properly. Let us see, not there. Oh, I gotta pick that up too. Do I have that one? Yep, okay. So we take a look, and what am I looking for here? Oh, that's what I'm looking for. That there. So I will keep an eye open here and do my best to notice people when they come in. But like I said, I'm puttering around the office. Too bad there wasn't some way of actually putting getting an alarm up so that when somebody enters, should look into that. So when somebody enters, the thing goes, beep, I'm here. Might be a little distracting for some people. Me, I ignore people anyway, so that works out well. Now, let us see. These are sheets that I have to go through. So, this one here, January 3rd, 2026, I do believe, is on this one. Let me see. 12/21. January 3rd, that's January 6th. Okay, so it's not that one. What do we got? That is really. That's 12. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I can take these and put them out of the way. And I'll pop in periodically to make sure that's 12/19. Starting with, yep, that will be able to be disposed of. That is 707, that's that one. And we have 1212, which is right there. And that should make this one 106. And that would be today's as well. Okay, those can be disposed of once I move them. Let's see if we got anybody in here. Here we are. No, not entirely surprising right now. We got a second person floating around. So who we got in here? Because there's apparently a second person. And that said, I'm just going through. I've done a lot of transcription to get my journal moved over. Now it's just a question of making certain that's 106, so we can close that. And then we go to this one, which is message from the owner. It really is that. Okay. So that one is good. Now, since we've got that, we close that one and we go back here. No, that's Facebook. I didn't want that button. Here we are. Okay. So far, so good. Because what I'm doing is going through this and eliminating the issues that I don't require. Okay, now let's go back to those. What are these? This one here has. That's 1225. This one, on the other hand, is 103. Let us just see. That's 719. So let's try the other one. Let's mark these as unread just so I know which ones are done. Or more to the point, know which ones are double checked. Mark those as unread. Now I can go through. It was 1219. Okay, so on these, that's 103, 1221, probably in that. Oh, got to mark this one. Take that, mark that as unread, because I haven't figured out which one's done yet. So we go back to here, and what do we go? Oh, we have been, but like I said, I'm just puttering here, getting stuff sorted out that I have to. That is 705, where 103 is. 705, 711. That's 103, 1221, 1217, 1218, 1215. Fucking sleep last night. I wonder which one that was. Okay, you go back over here. And yeah, we're still sitting fine. But I am getting things organized. That one I don't know which one it is. Let's slide you guys out of the way. That here is 1215. Okay, that's 0103. That's 0103. That is an excellent question. I like it. 14. Okay. Don't know which one that is. That's 711. I think those are listed here somewhere. There's 711. That should be that one. So, we have 705, but we go down to the bottom here. And what do we got? 719, 18, 717, 715. There's 711 and 0040. Yep. So that one is set. Then we've got 101. Probably not the one I'm looking for. As you can tell, it really does boil down to a simple little issue. You know, it really does boil down to, like, I've got a bunch of paperwork here that I've already transcribed and they got scrambled. So now I'm striving to figure out what's where. That is 07. No, that is wrong. Oh, I have no idea how that fits. So that can go over there. This one here. As you can see, I've got a stack of paperwork. By the way, guys, when you're getting things organized, it usually looks worse before it looks better. This just seems to be a normal reality of behind situations. And okay, training schedule. What I've got here is paper. If you look at the one side, it's got writing, the other side's blank. Because I am a firm believer. Operation, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I'm literally just going through scrap paper because I do recycle. So the information I've got, okay, the information I happen to have is stuff that kind of works well, but I've got too much of it that's just laid out that I had to go back to. Now that is, what's that? 0105. Okay. So that one I definitely don't have. That was probably from yesterday. And let's go back in here. I am going to do my best to keep an eye on questions and what have you. By the way, Operation, you've been really handy with this one. I am looking for new topics for next week to fill in. As far as on positive perceptions. Tonight we are going to be looking at believing your finances on positive perceptions at 8 p.m. But that said, I've still got a whole pile of other days that have to be worked out. Okay, that's 01, 12, 17. I think those are in here. Huh, that we go there. That's 12:15 at 2:29. Whoop. At 2:29. And 103. That's 12:21. Okay. That doesn't work well. Let's take a look at that one only. These ones can be disconnected. We take that one. And we go. Mark it unread because we haven't finished with it yet. There we are. Now, what am I looking at here? 12:21. That is 12:25. 7:15. 12:17. 12:18. 12:19. 12:29. 12:28. 12:27. 12:25. Also 12:25. So go back here. It gets to be a little confusing on occasion. So these ones are not set to be finished yet. This one, on the other hand, was 03, and that was the other one. It was just completely scrambled. So go back here. And that is, Lord knows. We take that, we go, mark, and unread, and we're good to fly. There we go. Oh. Yeah, where are we? Yeah, I'm still working on different topics. I might as well do that while I'm at. Those have to be sorted out. And BFO needs to be That's a company working with me really well to work and strive to get a former debt cleared. Mind you, they've been working with me, so clearly they're aiming at getting it tied off as much as I am. And that works out nicely. In case you hadn't noticed, I don't actually have a format for this because I'm literally puttering around in my house, in my apartment, in my office, making certain I get things wrapped up. These are just scrap paper, so they go there. That works out well. Where are we? Look at that. We haven't even hit 4 o'clock. That would pretty much explain why there's nobody who's shown up, because I'm scheduled to come in at 4. Which, honestly, I can work with that quite readily. What's that? Okay. That, and watch your ears, people, because that goes in there. And those are blank. Okay, my top shelf is clear. What that I can do right here. Again, I turn around and just simply go in and make sure, cancel that. Dance. It's funny, I look at all this side of things. That's smart. Okay. What I'm literally doing is just the normal thing I do when I'm working in the office. But by doing this, people drop in and have a question or anything to that effect, you're more than welcome to ask what's going on and ask me any question you've got. We apparently have 3 in the chat room, which is good. Well, correction, we have 3 logged in. Okay, 3 listening, which, in all fairness, if I had anything exciting to deal with, I'd probably have a little bit better response. But then this is more to keep me at least a little focused. I don't know how little I can get to, but what the heck. This is 2026, I think. Okay, so let's go to savings. There we are. And I just have, it's amazing how quick I can do that. There it is. Now, like I mentioned, with savings, the reality is this is my grocery bill. It tells me how much money I've actually saved on a given account. And that is for January 6th. So, way down here we go. On the 6th today, we saved a staggering 60 cents. Just want to make sure it's tracking properly. Yep, it is. There we go. Now, again, boils down to this. If you've got a savings, if you've got money that tells you that you saved X number of dollars, you got to realize, well, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I missed your first question, or the first entry anyway. My day was really exhausting, but really good. So I grabbed an hour's nap before I came on here. Kind of a necessity when you're actually tired. Now, what are we doing? I've got to grab that, because I do believe I have Naxxon up here with my coffee. It's a terrible thing when you're walking, 40 feet with a bad leg and a cup of coffee in your hand. Doesn't always work out as well as you might like. But this, and this is your useless piece of information, this is something that my eldest son made when he was in kindergarten. Maybe grade 1. Don't think it tells me, does it? No. So, this is the sort of keepsake I hang on to. So we pick that up, put it back up on top. And now we take a look. Okay, now take a look at, that's my, yeah, still don't know what I'm doing with those, so I gotta go and check them out. But that's not actually as bad a setup as you might think. One of the things about getting organized is you pick a direction. So, let's start at the very beginning, because we know that's a good place to start. I've got there is, could have sworn I brought it down there. And apparently not. So that's okay. Take those, because those are file folders I'm going to require. But we'll get this. Put that on my little table here. And, okay, first of all, now, I've got to get my office working properly. It really is way overdue time to do it. So, I've got 5 areas on my office. And this is why I say, when you're aiming at getting your life organized, go to the brain of your office, the brain of your home, or your business. Either one, the office is the brain. So we take a look at that. And I've got the monitor desk, which doesn't have a monitor on it yet, but that's what I call it. Monitor, then we've got the computer. We've got the table. We've got the shelf. And we've got the day of the calendar. Now the neat part there, I don't even have that here. Told you I got this place in a shambles. But that's okay. What are we looking at? Scroll down there, and we actually haven't got. Oh, by the way, I take a look at this. I've really been debating the issue of, gold, silver, that sort of thing for a day in the office. Because really my focus is on making certain I get everything organized. That has been automatically deposited. So I should actually go in and deal with that. So let's do that. So this just takes a minute to get into it. Get that out of the way. And what I'm doing here is just making certain that my financial plan, my financial tracker, which I use Excel for. Look what I miss. There we are. Flip that in. Yeah, that's right. Think. Or I screwed it up. Nope. Oh. So where did I mess up? Oh, that's because that goes to the other one. And we're in. This is a good thing. Now, it's a terrible thing, you know. My eyes are completely scrambled in one sense. Okay, go back to that. Let me close that because I'm just not interested in it. You take a look at that. That at my XL 1514. Going to minimum. Oops. What came in to make that happen? Oh, no, probably did it. Oh, okay. That's why. Oh, okay. So it was at 1214. The IGA is 3443. Okay, so IGA 34.43 brings me to minus 1228. Look. Oh, 1248. I just can't count, that's all. And then we go to 6591. Okay. So what is that? Wings? There we go. Wings was 6591. Yeah, I'm talking to myself while I'm doing this. But what the heck? What do we got? Wings was 6591. Making 1314.71. And that is right. Now, the nice part about it, and let's go back over here for a moment. And yeah, it's a boring day, but this is why I say, I'm the only one here right now, and I can work with that. Because, like I said, this is a way for me to stay focused. Although I did get four thumbs up, meaning I've had people come in and out, which is not a bad thing. You know what do I got here? I've got to go to there we are. And we just got that came in, so we're now above that limit. So that's a bonus. Go back to here. Today is the 6th. Oh, scrambled that, didn't I? Gotta go back to there because I was on the 6th there. This is the other account. And that was the 6th at IGA on the second one. Okay, that's the 6th. Then we go to IVE. We go the 6th and the claim. And yes, ended up doing a consulting job this morning. And the reality is, when I look at that, the consulting, I keep the prices down where they can actually be afforded by people. Is that the right number and my last name? Where the heck am I? Service plan device. Let's see what that was. There we are. Okay. So now that we've done that, go back, pop over here, and oh look, we got people back here. Okay. Really, I'm a little, I'm working on 3 different screens right now, and I've only got 1 monitor. And the reason for that is because in order to get things on track, I have to make certain that I track it properly. Now that gives me, and there we go. So go there, double check that. We have 119.18. So go back to this. We are at 119.18. This is a good thing. So now I can go back to the bank. I can go, I've double checked that. That's all worked fine. None of that matters. That's all bonus. So we log out of that. I can close down that bank tab and come back here. You know, the odd part about it is the fact that I'm not actually, here we go. The fact that I'm not actually focusing on the people, don't take that the wrong way, guys. I do love the fact you drop in. But the reality is, this is the way my office works. In a nutshell, a little scattered. But because of that, where is my receipt book? Over on the other side of the room, of course. So, receipt book, handier than that. Especially for making certain that I get things turned around properly. Now, look, gravity works. Okay. Oops, got to go to that. Okay. I need coffee. That's bugs. Etc. How much was it? 83.99. And with that, write it out. $83. $99. All I'm doing here is making certain that I've got a receipt written out for my, for the work that comes in, so it's easier to keep track of. Or more to the point, it's easier to double check. And yeah, it's kind of amazing how boring this can be on occasion. But one of the big things about this is I'm doing this to ensure that I get things organized. This is the same sort of thing that I literally will tell people. Okay, that was just point. Yep, that's good. Okay, that's those two that I had to have there. And we go back over here. And yep, it's going to be one of those days, which is good. Sooner or later, I'll end up with people in here, you know, but I do appreciate people popping in. Yeah, I really do. But because of the fact I've got to get this sort of thing organized, that can go back right. Oh, there's my wall. Don't have to go that far. Okay. That one goes there. This is the receipts. They go there to take to the accountant. And okay, it's funny. Where are we here? We're at 4:17. I will be here until 5 o'clock. But what I've actually got going on is I'm managing to get the stuff out of the way that I have. Now, the intriguing part of all this is you get so many things on the go. You've got to pick a way. You've got to choose a path to ensure that what is necessary in your life, that you actually get it done. So, I got to double check that. The computer desk itself is good to go. Who phoned me? Oh, okay. Okay, so computer saying the computer table itself is clear. The table is clear. That stays there. Good. That means my desk is the shelf is done. And because the shelf is done, I can now check that off. Now, those all go over there until they get moved. But they've already been identified. Now, these here are things I've got to deal with. Let's get that set of glasses out of the way. Now, I probably sound like I'm rather scattered here. But again, if you've got a question, just pop it into the chat room. I keep coming back, I keep bouncing back and forth between it, making certain I get things organized. Now, do I have, what's that? Yield life plan, savings. No. So, do that and open up and see what I can come up with there. Nope. Hey, what the heck? Look, I am going to have to put this on. Look. Oh, if I got this right, you're from the United Kingdom. Nope, I like that. Undoubtedly a neat little scam call. Because I don't know about anybody in England. And, in all fairness, I don't really mind calls from England by any means. But that was somebody calling in from England. And since I don't know them, the odds are probably good that they're not going to make headway with me anyway. Although it could be entertaining if I get a call like that. Come to think of it, next time I think I'll just make sure I answer it right away. See what it does. Because rest assured, you get a phone call, you don't know who it is. Do not, number one, and these are just things I've learned. If somebody phones you and they ask you something, do not answer with a yes or a no. Okay, because apparently there's a computer swap out there that may be all they require to get in. So you always answer with a negative or correct. Take your pick. Okay, if you're going to answer them at all. The neat part about it, like I get scam calls regularly, which is why I quit answering the phone last year. I was having too many problems. This year is a whole different ballgame. Now, what have I got here? I was actually looking. Okay, that. Let's see. It's this one I need. Ouch. Didn't want that. Take that out. Take that out. Take that out. There we are. Now, what I wanted to do is go down here and see sayings, life plan, Ilderbach, editing, journal overall, numerology, and language. These are the files I'm working on. But I wanted to take a look at open. And who is this? This is Smart. Look, and Smart will be down below. Okay, I don't have one there. So that's good. So that just means we go scroll that back up. Whoop. Scroll all the way to the top, and where the heck is new? Wait a minute, I think I've got something for BFO there. Okay, while I find that, let's pop this back over to here and see what we got. We still got some. I am curious who is actually listening in. Not complaining by any stretch. I would talk to you directly if I knew who you were. Since I don't, I am simply looking at this information and going, okay, what can I do with it? Information. Okay, what's this? That is what I was dealing with the other day. So, because of that, let's see. Go back to this file. Oh, any one of them works. Go there and we go BFO. And open that. Now, don't know what day this was, but that's okay. This. Whoops. That was what? Oh, 105. 01 05. See, when I'm dealing with a creditor, the first thing I do is I make certain who the person is. Certainly, I will identify that I am the person they're looking for. But then, before I go any further, I turn around and go, okay, who am I talking to? You're telling me I owe you money. What's the invoice number? And by doing that, I then go, okay, what's the invoice number? And what is the amount that you currently have me owing? If they cannot give me an answer, hang up on them. They're of no use to you. Because the last thing you want that is advisable is to give any information before you know for certain who you're dealing with. Okay, it's just that simple. Okay, let me go here. And, that's okay. It doesn't have to be in a specific order. So you get your invoice number, because if it's a legitimate company, they'll have that right handy. They'll have the information right there. If they don't have it, then frankly, they're not a real creditor. Don't go giving them the information. Okay, because any information you give them at that point becomes a problem. So we take that, save that, come back, and see if anybody's popped in. At this point, no, I've got one person listening, which I'm not complaining by any means. Okay, now I've got that. Now, what is this? I have no idea what that is. Oh, okay, that was City Hall. That's City Hall, yes. No, that's me. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. That's the information for the business license. So we will do that tomorrow. We go back to here. And we go, that one will work. There we are. And open that up. For City Hall. 824. Monday to Friday. Whoops. This is just taking the notes I had so I can get rid of the paper. The application fee that I'm going to have to pay. And the license fee. And now I've got the information locked down. That can go out of the way. So we save that. And it's getting saved in active documents. Then we go, okay, here we are, new one. And we open that, and that's there. Okay, and again, when you make the biggest mistake I find that I found I've made, the biggest thing that I find and the biggest mistake I make is I turn around and go, okay, let's make a scratch note, forget to identify what it's for. And I'm looking at it later going, well, what the heck was that? Doesn't work all that well for memory. It's kind of like that idea of, putting a string around your finger. You put the string around your finger so you can remember what you're dealing with. And then you forget what you put the string around your finger for. Now, and we mark that note down. This way I know what I'm looking at. Got a whole pile of notes here that I can actually deal with. Don't know what day that was. Doesn't really matter at this point. Oh, I did that the same day. That's why. Cancel that. This was done. Oh, 1, 5. So, when you're making notes, make absolutely certain that you mark down what they're for. Okay. All I'm doing at this point is I got a bunch of scratch notes that I've got to remove because they're just in my way and they're causing way too much clutter. So for those of you who have just joined me, I know this is kind of a boring setup. This is literally office work. It's just not that exciting. But if you've got a question in any topic, absolutely pop it into the chat room. I will answer you honestly. Won't guarantee you like the answer, but I will answer honestly. Now, let's see. That was that one. Go to this one. Yep. And this one, the last one on the list, is that. So we go save. And it double checking again when you're saving scratch notes. Be certain to check the file you're placing it in. Otherwise, you really have a problem. And that takes care of this neat little thing. It can now be shredded. Now, that won't make any sense to people, although there is a number on it, so I don't want it left there. There we go. So, pop down to here. Okay. Now, tonight on Positive Perceptions, we are going to be discussing believe in your finance and follow your dreams. We're going to go through literally how you can make that happen, even if you've had a problem with your finances. I'll even tell you why you don't want to do it, or at least one of the most common reasons why you don't. And I'm going to correct that right off the bat. I'm going to tell you why one of the primary reasons you likely are not going to desire to track what your money does. I will tell you, money is one of the most boring things on the planet until you get a good look at it. Now, I figured out a way that I can actually turn around and make things happen. Haven't got that one. So let's do that. Take that, and we'll start a new one here. This is another scratch note that I've got to have the information for. And who we got? Okay. There we are. See, by doing this, where are we? by doing this, I can actually keep track, and when they call back, I can absolutely get things organized. And I'll know for certain I'm dealing with the right person. With a legitimate company. You got to remember, there are so many scam artists out there that if you're not really on top of things, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? And I really hate to walk away and let people make mistakes I've already made in many cases. Or if not, I've at least talked to people that have made said mistakes. So right now, paid via. And that was perfect. Now we can take that. And that takes care of another one of these. Now, what is it? Cute. Now, what do we got going here? I'm actually making headway in the office here. Okay. It's not that exciting for most people, and that's understandable. Okay. But this is office work, so unless you're really into office work, it becomes kind of a boring setup. But what I was going to say as far as money goes is it can be extremely exciting if you know what you're doing with it. For instance, I've got a method now where I'm actually on the upswing. After being in the red for a couple of years, I'm finally in the black in most cases. And let's take a peek at that while I'm thinking about it. It should be right where it is, but let's see. Take that into there. I'm going in to literally check my my credit card balance. Because again, stay on top of it. Your money does not care one way or the other what you're doing. Doesn't care how you feel. But if you don't pay attention to it, you're going to run into all sorts of neat problems. Not the least of which is overextending. And this should drop me. I know what I'm expecting it to drop to. So now we just take a peek at it. Perfect. It went through. This confirms said payment went. And I've still got money to work with. That's weird. That's really, really weird. But it's a good thing. So now I can cancel that out, go back here, and what do we got? I've now double checked to make sure the kind of credit card that I used yesterday to pay a bill, was cleared. It has been. Now I go in here, no, not there, into this one, and that, take this, and we go. Okay. Save that, and I just noticed something. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got 20 minutes. Okay. I came in early. So I looked at it and went, oh, look, I'm sitting at a point where I'm hitting the hour mark, which I am. But because I started early and I said I will be here until 5 o'clock, just in case people come in at the tail end. And of course, if somebody comes in and I'm at the tail end getting ready to check out, and you come in and you've got a question, I'm likely to stick around and make certain that it stays put and that I give you an answer. Okay. Now, what are these? This stuff here, let's see. That stuff I gotta get done. Do I not have that? Because there's oh, that's the one that I don't know what one it was. I wonder. Wonder who. Two, 7:15, 12:17. Take a look at that. 12:19, 12:18, 7, 7. Oh, wonder. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. This is 7:17 of that. Okay. Well, and that is 7:15. Up, I think that is right. Yep, that one is good to go. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's double check and see who we got sitting here. Nope, not that. Yes, that. I've got to go there. It's amazing. I get a kick out of this. I'm guessing that what's happening is people are coming in, seeing I'm not doing a whole lot, which, by the way, is the whole issue around this day in the office. I literally am in here making certain that I get things organized so that I can eliminate them. That's 7:17, 7:18. Okay, let's get these set properly. Pull that out of the way so I can turn it sideways. That's 302, 12:21, 12:17, 12:18. That's 103, 12:15, 101, and 105. 105, 101. Okay, so we come back over here, and what do we got? Yeah, we've got people popping in, and the reality is, I understand that. I'm not what you call exciting, especially on this particular screen, but it does keep me organized and doing what I have to do. Okay, don't need that. Well, I do, but what is, oh, I know what that was. Those are files we gotta go through. This is what I am looking at here. Oh, okay. That's planning for positive perspectives. Yes, positive perspectives is like getting out. It worked out well from the standpoint. Oh, what we got? Keith, what does your intuition tell you about 2026? 2026 is quite literally going to be a year of restarting for people. Give me half a minute. I calculated this earlier, but forgot what the number worked out to. So, Okay, 2026. What is that? Get my calculator out here. 2026 minus 1728. That did not work. Minus 1720. What I'm doing is really calculating what the universal what I call universal numerology. Okay, that means 298 minus 288, which leaves us 10, which is 2, 1. Okay, now here's 2026 in a nutshell. Because I work with an enhanced version of numerology, I call it universal. Okay, there's a lot of reasons for that, but based on that, this is a where are we here? This is a 2 year. This is a year that people and industries are going to be making major life altering decisions, major paths that are going to go down a different road. Okay. But this is where you come down. Bill Gates told a grade 12 class years ago, he goes, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Somewhere down the road and down the line, you may find a knife and a spoon, and therefore have a complete set. This is the year to make decisions. Take a look at where you are in life. Are you content personally with where you're standing? Now let's start the obvious issue. No, we are not talking about some massive alien disclosure or alien war or anything like that. This is a year where individuals and companies alike are going to come to the understanding you have control over your life within reason. Okay. And this is where you start making headway. Now, I'm going to be walking through this myself, but you've got, if we take a look at it, January is the first month. Okay. This is where you start thinking about it. Most changes will start in February of 2026, where that's where people are going to start looking at their life and go, okay, I looked at it in January, now I'm implementing. This is why 2012, 2012, that was a real good year. This is why in 2026, February is where things start to shift gears. Okay. Through the month of February, we are going to see new mergers and we're going to see relationships come together. We are going to see business, and I mean relationships, business and personal, some are going to come together. They're going to unify. They're going to start working together. Now, here's the kicker. You're also going to find some very apparently stable ones come to a grinding halt. Okay, where long-term relationships, long-term friendships, partnerships are going to be dissolved almost overnight. Now remember, you've got control over how fast this happens. Okay, I will tell you, where it comes to sorting out clutter and what have you, this is still a relationship. You may be one of these people like I am that has a staggering amount of junk in the house. Okay, and if that's the case, this is going to be the year to start going through it and getting rid of it. 2026 is going to have some remarkable growth for individuals if you handle it right. Now, I will tell you, if you've been struggling all the way through 2025 or before, and the path you've been using has been a struggle, then this is the time to start shifting gears. Now, tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be going over the financial path that I've laid out and show you how that all works. If you're having struggles and you don't know where to start, this will be the place to come. Okay, I'm no financial guru. I'm quite willing to admit I screwed up my early part of my life. but I'm 62. Okay. I'm hoping that I can drop enough information on the table so if you're younger than I am or older and you're still having troubles, we can get you on track. But 2026 is about making the choice. Are you going to stay on the path you're on, or are you going to stand up and go, no, I'm done with the path I was on. I'm making changes. Kind of a critical issue when you think about it. That is, those have to go up top. Not that one. This one. That goes up there because that's the old Ramakian files. Ow. Painful. But what you will find in 2026 is I strongly recommend two things. Put a pad of paper by your bed, because if you're already psychically sensitive, odds are you're going to have a lot more dreams this year. Okay, and if that's the case, this is the time to really start paying attention to it. What is this? Oh, I think I did that. Let me see here. No, not that. That one. Oh, bingo. Energy vampire. Okay, we got those down. This can go to the garbage. So I don't need this at all. So those are ready to go. Now, the nice part about 2026. Well, oh, that's great, Operation. The reality is, if you're having dreams, and I strongly recommend this, keep a pad of paper by your bed, okay, or for that matter, a recording device. Even if all you remember is that you were dreaming, write it down. It will help. I kid you not. It'll help trigger the memory. Maybe all you remember is walking into a store of some form, only you don't know what it was. Mark it down. Okay, this is why I recommend against lucid dreaming, because your dreams can point you in the right direction, changes you're making, or that are necessary to be made. And the reality is, I don't only dream when I sleep. I dream when I'm awake. Okay, some people call it daydreaming. Myself, I just call it common. And who, pray tell, is that? Oh, no, that doesn't tell me much. Is this information I require? That's got to stay there. This, oh, that's always handy. No, these sheets I pulled out, throw away, they go in there. That way the whole file folder can go. And this file folder here has a whole pile of information I gotta go through. One of the things you will find with 2026 is by the time if you pay attention and act on what you're seeing, okay, act on what you're feeling, you will end up landing on your feet quite nicely. By the end of 2026, you may well not recognize the world you're looking at because you've changed it. Now, the reality is, if you don't know where to start, talk to me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, I just need a couple of pieces of information from you as it happens. Not the least of which is what you're aiming at changing. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use, and the philosophies of life I talk about are the same ones I guide virtually every decision I make by. With this in mind, I know these will work for you. This is why right now my office is clear. Where is it? Who is this talking about? Well, I'm pretty certain that belongs up here, because up on top of this filing cabinet is all my notes for Infrailderock. I am going to get that finished, because I'm tired of saying I will get it done and then procrastinating. I know you guys have done the same thing on occasion. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then life gets in the way, and all of a sudden you've had a problem. But with that in mind, okay, the other thing with 2026 is this: life, society, the whole thing. We've been taught to listen to the government, to listen to the spiritual guides, i.e., the regular mainstream churches, and what they're calling New Age. I tell you, for being New Age, it's thousands of years older than modern religion. But they're all telling you the same thing. God will come and sort you out. Now, I use the term God because I'm lazy. 3 words, three letters, 1 word, 1 syllable, easier than anything else. Not quite. I could refer to him as some people and call him Al. Okay. 1 word, 1 syllable, 2 letters. Easier than 3. But I work with that. Now, with that in mind, we are hitting the 5 o'clock mark here. So I'm going to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Really appreciate it. I will be back again tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, with Positive Perceptions. Believe in your finances and follow your dreams. Tomorrow, I'll be back at 4 p.m. Tomorrow I will be back at 4 p.m. and roughly 4 p.m. until 5. Okay. Back in the office. And again, it's nothing exciting. I'd love to say it is, and maybe I'll beat on a desk or something. But I will be back. So I hope to see you both tonight and tomorrow. That said, until then, and you're more than welcome, Operation, I really appreciate you dropping in. Now, that said, absolutely, until we talk again, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive